Grand Junior Academy humbly invites you to join their awareness campaign on drug and substance abuse, family abuse, and climate change. The issue of personal identity has presented a global dilemma, a situation which can only be described as a real catch-22 situation. Everyone has a responsibility to take, and all of us are busy at work. A hammer is in everyone's hand, but at crossroads on what to build or break. That's the fate of our dear Mother Earth. To where do we channel our most energy? What do we prefer to promote between mental intelligence and emotional intelligence? Do we purpose to nurture an intelligent man or a loving man as a future occupant of our Mother Earth? What would be the best indicator of success between emphasis on physical development and human development? That should bother everyone's mind who is administering education in the present crop of kids. That decision imbalance replicates in our self-identity, which is the principal axis on which our personalities are generated. Identity crisis is therefore the principal global social challenge. Trauma, anger, abuse, anxiety, self-esteem, confusion, and many more are just but fruits of identity crisis disorders. In this journey of self-identity exploration, Grand Academy ingrains its learners in a strong Christian foundation. This is because faith in God presents a foundation of a strong social identity process. Comfort Wambui, a teen psychological counselor, had the following to say about the relationship between identity crisis and drug and substance abuse.
So during adolescence, we undergo what is called by Eric Erikson in his theory, the identity versus role confusion stage. It is at this stage that we find out who we are, what our talents are, what our strengths are, and what our weaknesses are. So during this stage, you will notice that most teens are very huge on identity. They want to be unique, and at the same time, they want to be identified in a certain group. or rather to be identified with a certain group. What makes it very easy for teenagers to be very vulnerable to drug and substance abuse is that at this stage as well, there is cognitive development. So most of the judgments and decisions made by teens are very impulsive. So they might very easily jump into harmful behavior. Now, also the other thing that happens during this stage is that through the identity formation process, we find some stressors, and other people just are stuck in the identity crisis, and as a result, teenagers may tend to use drugs, may tend to get into immoral behavior as a way to find comfort, and at times it's just because they are confused, and because it's what other people are doing, they just tend to explore through these things as they form their identity. Um, there are a few warning signs that we should look at, so that we can be able to spot if a child is in identity crisis early enough, so that we can get them help. If you're not able to help them from our homes, we can always see a therapist to get them through. So one of the things you will notice about a child who is undergoing this crisis is that their self-worthiness is usually dependent, so much dependent on other people's opinions. So what other people think about them is what they will take on as their identity, which can be very risky because um, if people think that taking drugs is cool, or engaging in any other immoral behavior is cool, they might end up taking on that as their identity. The other thing you will notice is that your child will keep their opinions to themselves. They'll never give out, they never speak out directly about how they feel about something. They're always keeping to themselves. This is also dangerous because you don't know what's going on through this child's mind. You don't know what they're engaging in. You don't know if they have developed the correct concepts in life. So it is very important to try and find out, if to try and find out your child's opinion about even the simplest of things. Let them give their opinion on how your house looks, whether it's a good idea to move into a new neighborhood or not. Always find out from your children. The other thing you will notice is that these children will keep on copying things from people. They'll dress in a certain way as shown in the social media, or as a friend dresses. They don't necessarily have to like these things, they just do them because they see it being done. It's the monkey see, monkey do kind of scenario. They just do it because other people are doing it. So even when it comes to the drug and substance abuse, they don't have any reason for smoking, or taking alcohol, or whatever, any other immoral behavior they engage in. They just do it because other people are doing it. The other thing you can look at is the inconsistency in behavior. Children will tend to be very inconsistent. Their behavior is not congruent. And remember as well, this during this stage you're forming an identity, so there should be some consistency seen. Not that much, but at least we can say you are an honest person, you're obedient. So for these children who are in this crisis, they'll only be obedient in certain scenarios, they'll only be honest in certain scenarios, and in others they'll be dishonest, they'll be abusive, they'll be disobedient. So it's always good to try and trace your child's behavior, find out if it's consistent, because if it's not, your child might be going through an identity crisis. So, like I've said, the stressors and the stress formed during this period is what makes teenagers and adolescents very, very much vulnerable to drug and substance abuse. So if you look out for these four signs that I have given, you can always spot a troubled child early enough and direct them to the proper care. Thank you.
We are the grand stars. Join us in changing the world.